Here we are, it's Monday and we're live. I know you guys like my song and my wonky mess of hair. That's yours.
Wonky.
So, we're back in the house. We went and visited Clara's family yesterday. And we say goodbye. For now. And that's enough of that. Because then I'll get sad. You don't want to do that.
We need to get, like, if you're going to use us with a pache, which I don't, like I said, this comes with 3 different tips. It's called 1, a 3, and a 5. And I think what I have in here right now is a 5. That's why it's just, like...
Not taily.
It is. I mean, because Pache it's a good airbrush, just an older company, and this is a lot bulkier and heavier than the Iwata.
Iwata. Hey, Bonnie in Utah. Hope your weather's amazing. It's bipolar here today. Anyways, so if you haven't watched my previous couple of episodes, we've been reviewing the Purely Pigments. It's not going to focus because it hates me.
I don't think that's an up close camera.
Probably isn't.
Turn this. You're like shining.
I'm always shining. I shine bright like a diamond.
Okay, get on this side and I guess put it in this camera. Well, they're not even on.
I'm just doing my intro. So we're going to be reviewing the Purely Pigments from Color Art liquid pigments, and today it's with AirBrush. Cue the intro. I wish we could hear the intro song when it plays. I don't know if I'm rewriting it in my head, which is likely.
Probably. So we got a new little stand for the flyover, which I don't hate. These legs are a little bit sticky outy. So I'm using this this airbrush called Pache. I believe it's called Pache VL. Paasche. Very Pache.
It's very Pache. I have it linked down in the description box if you are interested.
And like I said earlier, this particular airbrush comes with a 1, a 3, and a 5 tip, and also a needle with each tip. So, and that's pretty awesome because a lot of airbrushes just come with 1. Some come with the most finest, but that's for your finer detail, like the Iwata. What is that? The
H.
It's like the Micron, and then I think there's one up from that as well. It's very expensive, but it is definitely worth it.
HPCS is what this is.
If you're getting a lot of detail, like portrait work and realistic stuff, very small stuff.
Black tie one.
So I think the needle that I have in this one is the number 5. So 1 is fine, 3 is medium, and then number 5 is a thicker material. But this is also a siphon fed, which means the air comes through here, comes out here, siphons the paint out of this jar and then out the end. And it's called dual action because you press down for air and then you pull back, and you press down and you pull back for the paint to come out. And there's our door alarm.
Bowie says hi.
So I put some of this blue in here, and we're going to see just how it works just on white paper.
That color that you're using is
Yeah, I emptied that bottle into here.
Oriental Blue.
Remember, that's kind of zoomed in.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't have anything on here, so I'm just gonna do some letters, I guess.
Bonnie says it sounds complicated when you mention all the cones and needles.
It's really not. All you have to, I mean, if you think about a 1 needle, that's going to be pretty thin. A 3 needle, medium, and a 5 is a lot bigger. And you could literally tell, like when you get the airbrush, if you decide to get one, you could tell the difference in the needles. Like it's very prevalent. I don't know. Obvious. There you go. I need a thesaurus that come. I need one of those Oculus glasses, right?
Thesaurus. TG says it's just like riding a motorcycle. Gas clutch.
Yeah. Except for the gas and the clutch are on the same thing.
Y'all are above my pay grade.
So I guess this would be clutch. Down is just air. And then when you pull back, paint.
Gas.
No gas.
That's what makes it a dual action. Ooh, I know
See if we
something.
can get this a little closer here.
Proud of myself.
What's that?
Ooh, I knew that's what makes it a dual action.
Yeah. Press down. You pull back. Now a single action you would literally just press down and the paint would come out immediately. And you can use that if you want. If you're painting something, or just getting used to, it'd be like spray paint, basically the same thing.
Oh,
just
yeah.
push down, and the thing is, you could make your airbrush do that if you wanted to do that. That would be a whole different thing for me to show you, so we're not going to go into that unless you want to know that if you already have a dual action and want to turn it into a single action. And there's also another kind of airbrush that's called the gravity feed. Will you get me that one? It's right there. They have gravity feed, single action, and dual action. This is a gravity feed, which, oh my god, these little gnats, which you just put the paint in the top, and it doesn't take as much air pressure as the siphon, if you can imagine, because it takes a lot to siphon the paint out. This just falls into there, comes out the end. Push down, pull back for the paint. Basically, same as this. This one's just a little bulkier. You can take the back off and adjust it if you like, if you have something clogged. But the paint will come out, so be careful doing that. I don't know why I looked there and not there.
I always do that. We should just put our camera above the monitor. That's a good way to look at it. Makes sense to me. Cool.
Yeah. And this paint works in an airbrush, as you can see.
So the main thing I think we should compare is if it's as good as regular airbrush paints and what the cost is compared to. Like, is the value there?
Oh.
Would you find yourself using this instead of...
I'm not even using that over there, though. Like,
I know, but you have used that. So in your professional as an airbrush artist opinion, by the end of the video, I want to know.
Okay.
If you would consider using this in the airbrush, if you have like a commission. It looks like little hearts. This is one of just regular warm-ups. He does a whole bunch of dots and he'll do lines. What's up, CWV? We are testing this paint in the 6th medium that we're trying this pigment in today. And today it is airbrush.
Yeah.
is there one airbrush type you prefer over another?
I like both of them. The thing with using this is when you are painting something,
Oh,
you can
meaning
see.
gravity versus siphon.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So the siphon is, if you're painting something, you see all of it at the top, which when you use the gravity feed, that thing is there. So it definitely
Do you need the
could
thing?
get in the way. I mean, they noticed it.
Okay.
And like I said, the air pressure, if you're doing something detailed, you want low pressure, so when you're up close and you pull back, and you might pull back a little too much, you see that little spider? That's because it's so much air. I could turn this down, but I'm running it through 10 other airbrushes, so it's kind of taking, like, it's hard to regulate it on my regulator, because if I turn it down just a little, then all of them leave. The pressure goes down a lot because it's separated
Okay.
from 10 airbrushes.
It's okay.
If I were to have this just on one, it would probably be on like a 30 psi, I think. I can't remember. I haven't ran this airbrush in a while, so. And this paint is a lot thinner than your normal t-shirt paint, which is a lot thicker, so you need a little bit more air pressure to run a thicker paint. This is pretty thin. I did add some of this to it, because I've never used this, so I don't know. I mean, when I poured it out, it seemed a little thicker than, what is that called? Golden. The Golden High Flow that I normally use.
CWV asked, did you use the art fluid to make your paints? What we did use was the art fluid, the extender though. I'm willing to bet it probably would have gone through your airbrush without that, because you have the 5 on.
Yeah, because I have the 5 needle.
Yeah, I bet it would have gone without using that.
And what's pretty amazing about using airbrush, and as thin as the paint is, especially the golden, is you don't use a lot until you use a lot. But if you're just doing, if you're doing a portrait, or you're shading some lettering, or even doing lettering, the paint isn't always on, you know what I'm saying? And you don't use a lot of paint, so.
How long do you think that would last you if you were just doing a whole bunch of blue shirts in one day?
Oh, well, it would take a little bit more for a fabric, but.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think this is like up to here. So this would last for a while.
Yeah. So, Karen, his ultimate answer of what he prefers, the siphon over the gravity, would come down to what he's doing.
Right. The siphon, it just. Wait, also, I forgot. Also, there is a lid that goes on top of the gravity feed, but you could still spill it. With this, you're not spilling it.
Until
So,
it pops out.
yeah, if this falls off, then you got to watch out for that, because sometimes these fall off. They fit, but this moves. And also a good thing with, I learned to airbrush by putting my hand here. My hand's on there and my hand here. So that's how I study it. Steady. With that one, I have to put it directly on the airbrush. So then there's more in your eyesight as well. So you just have to get used to that. There's so much, like.
I'm surprised that you don't use then a siphon fed for your paintings, since it does get in the way when it's a gravity feed. From my knowledge, just watching him, he likes to use siphon fed for mass production. So if he's doing a bunch of hats or shirts, because it's a quick interchange. And then he likes to use his Iwata for detail work and portrait work. By
Well,
observation.
They're both by water. I don't ever use
Pache's
this.
I wanna.
No, but I don't use this.
Oh yeah.
Those are
okay.
all. I mainly use the Iwata. I only have one gravity feed, but that's actually I have two of those. But one is a little bit more detailed than the other.
Mm.
But this paint, that's what we're reviewing, right?
Yeah. But if they have questions about the airbrush, we're absolutely going to answer. So CWV says, my husband has been using the Articulate and Purely pigments and he seems to like it. So far, it seems like he is enjoying it.
I mean, it's a good.
What about changing colors? Is it easier with the airbrush you're using right now?
It is because you can just take this out, clean it, get you a spray bottle, clean it, and then put your new color in if you have a couple of these. With the gravity feed, you have to clean that whole little bottle out, make sure the inside is cleaned out as well. That takes a little longer. Or if you're painting fast, just switch them out, spray the excess that was in there, and use either a similar color or a darker. I don't know. That would be up to you on cleaning. If you wanted to clean your airbrush for the next color.
If you're here at the end of the video, maybe he'll show you. Have you used Neo Echo before? My husband really likes it. Is that an airbrush paint? Neo Echo.
I've heard of it, the Neo airbrush. Iwata makes it, but it's a cheaper. The action on it, which means your basically the detail about when you press down, and then the second you pull back, that paint's going to come out, so you know exactly, how much and when the paint's going to come out. That's why I love the Iwata. And this Pache's doing very well for that.
Yeah, the airbrush.
Like, if you can see my finger, like the second I pull back,
Maybe not.
Just doing that right there is pretty amazing. Especially I haven't used this airbrush in about a year.
I mean, it hasn't been cleaned in about a year.
Well, I cleaned it when
Oh.
A lot of people they get frustrated and they're like, man, they'll either run some water through it and put it back in the drawer, and then there's just paint all inside of here, and then it's either ruined or they have to take it completely apart, run it through alcohol or acetone, which is not very good for the airbrush, or mineral spirits or paint thinner, which is definitely not good for your airbrush.
Eat up your wash? No.
They're like bushings in here, little rubber bushings that keep everything nice and airtight and whatnot.
The Neo Echo 0.2 millimeter dual action gravity feed precision airbrush.
Yeah, you can kind of see.
Looks like it's a gravity feed.
If you don't, there's a gravity feed. If you don't use it for a second, you see that little stutter there. I wonder if it's just drying on the tip.
I did find out that this paint does dry super fast when I was using it in the other applications. And since it does say on here specifically quick drying, no smudging, even though we have an extender in it, I guess when a little bit drips out of the tip, it dries. Okay. Ooh, you're gonna have to read this for me. Well, I'll spell it to you. He wants to know if you have tried the GAAHLRI airbrush and how it compares as well. I
have no idea.
Let me look it up.
I've never heard of that. Is that the green airbrush? I thought it had an X in it.
Let me see what I can find out.
Let's check out. I'm gonna put this on some black paper.
Yeah, because it's Well, it doesn't say on the bottle that it's opaque, but I was informed that it is an opaque pigment, so we're going to test that on some black. GAAHLRI. It looks like this. Oh, there's one with a trigger.
Yeah. Let's see if you can. So I'm just gonna barely spray it on here. And then I'm just gonna go a little bit closer, a little bit more paint. Heavier that I push. I'm blown away that this is showing up on black. I mean, you could really see it with this one. That's very impressive.
Can you smudge it?
You cannot. I don't know if that's a smudge or if that's because of me painting. I mean, I couldn't smudge it on here. Let's see, hold on, let's go back to this real quick. Let it dry. We didn't dry the other one.
What I'm reading is the
Use my fountain,
PS771 is a really good
It does not smudge.
airbrush in comparison to the Eclipse.
Just a little bit down here, but
That could be
I don't know why.
an overspray.
Right, it possibly could be overspray. But I'm blown away that you can actually see it, even when I barely sprayed it on here. What about, should we be using a mask with this stuff?
I don't know.
Give me a stencil down there, one of those hand stencils, please.
You like this one? You want this one?
This is fun. So if you're doing like, if you life, which I really want to try,
Morning, Donna. Gallery Morbius 2.0 is the one who does me down. Everything is archival, so I say no mask is okay. I will clarify with Leslie about that,
look at that.
just to be
You
sure.
could do like a nighttime painting with this.
You could do an Aurora Borealis.
Rush.
Aurora
I want to
Borealis.
get those empty ones very top. Nope, the holder next over the white, right there, very top, far right, left. You know what I mean?
Yep, got it.
So I'm just barely spraying this on here. There was a lot of paint coming out. You could see with this flyover camera. But I'm going to let this dry and then go back over it a little bit more to make it a little bit brighter. I mean, that's pretty amazing. Like, this camera is a little darker than this one, and I wonder because if it's over.
The
Well,
angle.
and this is a lot. This camera's a lot better than this one, but for some reason, it is really coming off like this camera.
Put it next to this one and see if it's like. I don't know.
It's the settings. You can do different settings on this one than you can on this one. So.
Wild. I wish I had the white in that brand so that we can.
Right, white would be amazing. Is it just?
It's not white. It says white, but it's a. It's not. It's just not.
Is it? You not trying?
I have tried it. I put it in a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm
It
gonna try to
says
use this green.
mixing white. And apparently what that means is something. I'm very confused about what it did mean. Too bad you can't just like screw on that like siphon top. That'd be cool.
Some of these will fit, but not. I don't think any of them are this. Well,
What up, roadside restorer?
might.
We are testing new pigments today.
this might work.
Yes, this is translucent. This one. Not so
Do
much.
you think?
No.
I'm just gonna try because
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Am I a genius?
This might have. The thing is, and this might be. We're gonna see if this is gonna be too. I don't know. That seemed very thin when I was pouring it in there.
We'll find out together.
Well, the only problem is that little straw that goes down here. It might be bent, and it might
As long
not.
as it's not bent in half, it'll go in here, right? This is him clearing out his,
This is how you would do it if you were in a hurry.
yeah.
And you definitely wouldn't use a lighter color, but I'm not gonna do that. Look out.
It's too scary.
Water.
Mixing white is translucent, right. I hate the commercials during a live. By the way, the white is actually invisible. Invisible blue and only affects fluorescent colors. She stopped production on it and added a different white called Aqueous White. Well, she sent me this one.
Oh, you know what? I think we need to use this alcohol anyways.
Sorry about the commercials. Now the lives give you almost no options. Either you monetize or you don't. You can select a bunch of commercials, a little bit of commercials,
Ooh.
or a couple of commercials, and I'm on the couple of commercials because at the end of the day, we still gotta pay rent. So I appreciate you guys sticking in and watching for the 5 seconds that it asks you to. Let me know if it doesn't let you click through.
This blows my mind how opaque this is. Like, for real, y'all. See, I wasn't using it. This is the thing. This is, I guess you'll learn this with the airbrush. Loosen this chuck right here. Pull your airbrush back, or your needle, I'm sorry, pull it back a little. And it's just gonna, there's how you can turn your airbrush into a single action. Is just pull your needle back.
Looks like you just shot that with a paintball.
You know what? That's insane.
Do you have a shirt or something we can try it on so I can see the washout abilities? I don't know what those words were, but.
That's pretty quick. This seems like it might be a little bit thicker. You can see it's not. I'm pulling back on the airbrush.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's definitely either because of the little. Yeah, it was bent.
Do you want to snip the tip of it?
Snip the tip.
Sometimes that's the answer.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want it to cut out parts of the feed that are important. But it's weird because people get commercials at different times.
I wouldn't cut that much off of your bottle thing.
Thank you, Susan.
No, it's still doing that.
So maybe it is too thick to just be out of the airbrush.
Right. Be out of the bottle.
Yeah.
So
Use the extender or some kind of pouring medium.
yeah.
Not pouring medium, fluid medium. Do you want to try it in golden? Probably be about the same because it's all water-based anyways. Just make sure that if you're transferring your paints into these little bottles like this, that it has ball bearing in it, or at least
We don't need it.
get a few little BB pellets and put them in there, because just like when we were using it the other day, it's going to settle, and you need to shake it before a lot of the uses.
It really doesn't seem like it's that. I mean, that's pretty thin. I mean, you can see that jiggling around in there. I don't know. Maybe the bottom of that might have some paint at the bottom.
It may have some sediment.
I just put a little bit in there.
Let's work. At least with this test now, we can see if the extender art medium changes the color, the opacity, and the etc. Workability, fluidity. I don't know. You know the words. There's words. That is a good shade of green as far as lime greens go. This is Sour Apple, number 112723.
Really have to pull back. I don't know what the deal is with that. It's different than the blue, that's for sure.
You know, the raw materials in a lot of different pigments.
Right,
Are
because this
just
is a
different.
very, very pigmented. I mean, you could tell this is on black paper, y'all. Like, that's pretty impressive to be able to paint
That's what I was doing.
on black. I'm gonna get one of those greens over here. Oh, sorry, Candace.
Do we have a shirt that you're just practicing on anywhere? Something I just throw in the wash? Oh my goodness, this stuff is so pigmented. What if it stains the inside of my
So this is
washer?
this is the Vivid. Is that what it's called? Vivid?
No. Yes, purely pigments.
This is I'm gonna clean this airbrush off first though.
Where are you? Okay.
It's too messy over here. I don't.
It's true. It's my fault. I'm the messy one. Some are extremely thick. This is a pure pigment, so it will take about 10 drops to an ounce to get full color, because there's only 4 mils of color in the tube of paint. These are 26 mils. That sounds like math. Workshop time.
This is fluorescent.
Oh.
Golden.
Let's be fair though, fluorescent pigments are translucent. And this one doesn't say it's fluorescent. CWB, CW.
Well, you can tell it's different.
Are her fluorescent pigments labeled as fluorescent, or you just gotta know that Sour Apple is a fluorescent green? Where's our...
Well, it's definitely different. That's hers. That's Aquaflow. I sprayed a lot of color on there. I guess I've just never tried to paint with fluorescent. Oh, let's try this. They're not fluorescent.
I was
As
just
you
looking
can
for that.
see.
Oh.
And this definitely would work. Fluorescent would work on black with the black light, but
Let me
just
see it.
painted on there is not. No,
Nope.
not one single bit.
Where are you guys? It's dead.
That's wild.
Okay, so that's not a 1-to-1 comparison there then. She has an 18-piece fluoro set. I don't have the fluoros, so I can't do a 1-to-1 comparison.
I would definitely wash this out with acetone.
Did you say not to use acetone earlier?
Well, with this paint, I don't know, because it is like, it's, you can still see it in the airbrush with just the alcohol.
Yeah, it is hella thick. Maybe we have to use one of the like airbrush cleaners that has that like noxious smell to it. What's up, Mary? Hey, Sue. How are things? So, I still want to put it on C-Dub. Do you think it's a bad idea? CWV, artistry. Do you think it's a bad idea to put this on clothes and then put it in my washing machine? I'd rather stay in the inside of my washing machine than a sink. Let me know. Because I want to try it on all of the ways. I'm very impressed with its versatility. Not sold on putting it in resin, but every other water-based, and even as an alcohol ink way that I've used this this pigment has been pretty great.
Pink shirt. This is not ideal, by the way.
Haven't tried it on clothes, but give it a go. I'm curious how it would hold up. Do you say first test? I guess I could like wash it in the kitchen sink, even though I don't know how to hand wash clothes. Do you have to get one of those, like, what's that instrument that people play? The washy thing? What?
You are a sight for sore eyes, babe.
Know it. Washboard. So, scrubboard or washboard. You guys know the words. I don't know the words. I am excited to see though, because airbrush paint only lasts so long, even if you heat set it on clothes.
Well, if you have like, what do you call it?
Do you need some
An
clippings?
airbrush paint, like a t-shirt paint, heat set it, for as long as you're supposed to. Wash it in cold.
Oh, can we
They
do it
probably
again?
just tell you to hand wash it anyways. It'll fade a little.
It's not going to disappear.
Handmade, wash-made, handmade.
Handmade, hand wash.
Yeah, there you go.
No scrubboard. Okay.
See, that color acts a whole lot different. Yeah, this is.
I got you, love. It says it dries permanently, so I say it would work. As with everything, you kind of have to,
I have no room in here.
like, heed the warnings on the label, but also do your own test, And so that's kind of what we're here for. We're doing the test so y'all don't have to. Yeah? Yeah.
Can you take this pad of paper away that we don't need?
Sure.
Sorry for the movement, y'all.
Tiny boy. Tiny boy. So I'm thinking maybe we should carry some of these colors. That's what I'm thinking, like off the tippy top, off the sizzle.
Like, with the way that, like, because I got it on my hands earlier. I don't like it when it's stiff.
Leslie does make pretty amazing products. She always has all the colors. which I'm a fan of.
This is such a little shirt. I got this for
Lady Baby.
Lady Baby and or Emmy.
It'd be great to know if it comes out of clothes and if using it and accidentally get it on your clothes. Well, we're gonna find out together.
It's gonna stay on there. Any paint you put through an airbrush is gonna stay on there, whether it fades or not. You're still gonna see it.
Right, but I want to see like the amount of the fadery. The amount of fakeness. I never get tired of seeing you write my name, I gotta say. Do get tired of the fact that you can write my name better than I can, since I've been practicing for, oh my goodness, 40 years.
Wait a minute. You're 40 years old? Where did you go?
Oh, I'm right here. I didn't know Leslie just turned 71. Well, Leslie, whenever you watch, because I know you will, because we put your name in the title. Have a birthday. Great product. Shadow and everything.
Everything.
Arr.
Pretty awesome.
Oh, I can't wait to see if it like washes out, and for the stuff that may wash, should anything wash out, I'm excited to see if it stains the rest of the shirt. You know what I mean?
Oh, I doubt it. This stuff's gonna, that's gonna stay,
I still want to know.
100%.
I still want to know. What's a comparable color? This one? This looks like that color. I'm okay. I just want to, head to head it.
That's a lot of air pressure in there.
Jeff killing it with that airbrush. He always, I love it. I used to stay up late and watch him airbrush on Skype when I was out of town.
This is completely different.
Looks like almost the exact same color.
It does on there, but this is...
It's a little pinky.
This acts way better than this.
I don't even know what is in there.
It's Aquaflow.
Oh, Aquaflow.
I'm sorry, Golden.
Thank you, TG. Use color guard in the machine. I don't think I have that.
That's wild. That's like a completely different color, but it's really difficult to tell.
So the golden is just a little bit on the pinkier side.
Yeah, this is golden.
So
and this is the old thing. She got this from over there, which is
got it out of your paints.
I know, but if it's over there and not on an airbrush, I haven't probably used it in a minute. So.
Oh well, there's a purple one on the airbrush. Do you want me to get it?
Sure.
Okay.
Just please be careful with the airbrush because it will fall.
I'm not gonna mess up the airbrush.
How are you gonna put it down then?
It's gonna hold it.
This is darker. This is one of those dioxylene. Yeah, this is a lot darker.
Oh, I was like, you don't go with the...
You can see it's a lot darker.
So any color will get sucked up on those things? Question mark. See, don't.
What? I want to see if you go over. I'm just doing it just on
Okay.
these dark parts. I
I
just
was
want
like, I'm not gonna know what happens. Okay.
You'll see it
Just
on
the tips.
here.
Got it. So the question is, so will any color get sucked up into a siphon fed airbrush?
If you have enough air pressure or it's thin enough. You don't want a lot of air pressure when you're airbrushing because that just means more overspray and you want to you don't want a lot of paint coming out. You want to be able to regulate how much little amounts.
Gotta regulate it. His lips are insane. I love them. You talking about? Or on the hat. Oops, sorry. Because I'm a fan of both. If Jeff decides to get on here and do hats again one day, would you guys be interested?
Cats aren't doing what I thought they might.
Yeah. Sometimes people are interested and sometimes not so much. I'm super pumped to see how this washes. Is this the one that just came off of it? Okay. I'm just gonna put it back so I don't forget. Broke nothing. I've seen him do a lot of lip pieces, and yes, like the hat is what I was talking about.
This is definitely more opaque than the golden.
Well, golden is fluorescent, and those are usually transparent. But yeah, it's surprisingly opaque on black. Impressively opaque,
Crazy.
if I'm honest.
If you're honest.
If I'm honest.
Normally not honest.
No, I'm always honest, but people like to say if I'm honest, or at the end of the day.
If anybody starts the conversation, I'm not going to lie to you, or if you want me to be honest, or then I'm 100%. I'm thinking you're lying to me.
You think I'm lying to you?
No, but when people start the conversation like that,
That's true. It's usually pretty sketchy.
if I'm honest,
it's sketchy.
no.
So anyways, can you compare the Angelus paints with these, please? Angelus.
They're definitely opaque, but it is a whole different. This is basically just for leather. And you do have to.
You have to thin those out pretty a lot.
You
right?
can't do detail with them very well unless you thin them down. But then you're gonna get not so opaque. It's basically just to tape something off like a shoe, and spray a nice even coat. There's no way that you could. I mean, you could if you thinned it down, like I said, and if you were decent at airbrushing, but
Not a beginner.
yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, taping off a shoe, because that's basically all what people use these colors for, is just doing like shoes with them.
Shoes. Jeff has a couple of the Angelus paints as well. So, I want to know your.
Well, I like the paint. I mean, I would have to paint with it to know, like on a canvas, but it definitely works. I mean, obviously, it works.
curious to how that mellow yellow would be on a pink shirt. She did not send me any yellows, so
Yeah, no
I
yellow.
do not know. I have.
That's why I picked the lightest, brightest color and the one of the darkest.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a darker, but no. I mean, why would you paint that dark on a?
You wouldn't.
I'm sure.
Can you pair the Angelus paints, please? So yeah, those ones are a little bit too thick, probably to run through an airbrush. It's not impossible, but when you start thinning it out really, really much, then you're losing opacity.
Really much.
Yeah, that's quantity.
Um,
However, we haven't tried it with. I don't know if you have to have a specific medium for leather.
you do. Well, what you do is you run the too thin through it.
But that looks super soupy thin.
Yeah. But you can. It's just, I wouldn't, you know, paint a portrait on a pair of shoes with that stuff. I would just use golden, what is it, Medea?
Medea.
Depends on what
Um,
you're painting on.
Thanks for the demo. So true. Those are in a paint base, whereas purely pigments are the pigment you add to a base. I think C-Dub is talking about the Angelus paints having already a paint base in it, whereas purely pigments is literally just a pigment that you can add to any paint base for whatever medium.
Mm.
However, it is currently living as, I feel like, more of like a water base. Even though I don't know if there's water in here, there's not an ingredient list. But it does work in alcohol without congealing, so I don't know what binder and science is in here. However, it is opaque, it is smudge resistant, and it works in an airbrush, along with all the other mediums that we used the past couple days. So
I would use it on a canvas. I mean,
hopefully we'll be lucky enough
But-
to see Jeff airbrush a portrait with it. I have the bone black. Golden is the goat, and it's a very thin base, but I don't know if that says very thin or very thin. D&D models, is that Dungeons and Dragons? Because that's not
that's like
my
enamel.
wheelhouse.
My
I
brother
guess if
uses
you-
that stuff.
If you drop some of that in an enamel base, could work. Because, like I said, these are not inks, dyes, or whatever. These are just pigments. So you can add droppies of this to.
That stuff has to be like super opaque, and then I think you paint with the paintbrush anyways with those little
Figures.
yeah, because that's some super detail.
Well, next time we go up to your family, we can be like, Steve, what do you think about this? Because doesn't he paint little tiny D&D things?
That's where I know that.
I don't know. So anyways, I am so glad you guys came and saw our most recent review of the Purely Pigments by Color Art. I don't have these in my shop right now. You can get them from colorart.com in the meantime. But if you would like me to carry these, let me know. I do run sales all the time, and hopefully I'll be running another one soon. I just have to wait for another shipment to come in. But that's Sue's fave D&D. I don't know. I guess I never played it when I was younger, and so I just never got into it because I never really knew anyone that played it. And even now, I'm just finding out in retrospect people that I know are playing it. They just never invited me to play, I guess.
You play D&D?
No.
I thought you just said you got into it but didn't.
No, I'm saying no one that I knew was into it, and so I was never asked to play, and so I never got into it. But then, in retrospect, I find out that Clara plays, Sue plays, Jeff's brother plays.
He's played since it started.
That's probably the extent of the people that I know off the top of my head. I love how willing you are to try new things for us. It is my sincerest pleasure. Because these things aren't cheap, I'm sure. I mean, for as pigmented as they are, and as versatile as they are, and how typically pricey the color pigments already are just because of their quality. I'm sure they're not cheap, so everyone seems to play D&D. Well, maybe one day I'll be able to get into it, but don't you have to have like a squad to start getting into it? I don't know. I don't know the rules. It's another reason I don't know the rules. But anyways, thank you guys for watching and being here with us today on this hopefully beautiful Monday. I have to take my puppers out. Thank you to everyone that has purchased my ceramics recently. I have some new things in the works. Let me show you. Hold on, 2 seconds. What are you doing, ma'am? What are you bringing over here? I just learned how to make these bad boys. This will be a solid black, but it's a to-go cup. So you can put your little coffee or whatever in there and go, 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 go. I'm really excited about these. Go, go, go. I've never made a cup before that I've used, so I'm super excited. Anyways, create things with your hands today, people. Even if it's something small, go out there and make something. You will be happier if you do. The oldest one is a dungeon master. I bet, I'm pretty sure his brother thinks he's a dungeon master. I'm sure. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching some more up to today. Be kind to one another because you never know what someone's going through.
And always remember, we do the test.
So you don't have to. We'll see you guys tomorrow for our live. It'll be at 2 p.m. Central. Canvas is playing you the song of Her People, so you're welcome for that. Cue the outro. Dungeon Master.